Welcome to TV5 and Mana TV. You are watching Insight with Praveen Puram live from Atlanta. We know this Insight with Praveen Puram has many insights for the Indo-Americans and NRIs. So one other aspect today we will cover in this show, we have our visionary leader, Mr. Madan Padaki. Who is Mr. Madan? And what is this Thai Global Summit in Bangalore? We will get to know more. Again, thank you for all the sponsors, Peersoft, CPA, and many others who support my show. Please watch and also refer good people so that we can motivate, inspire the Indo-Americans and NRIs. Welcome, Madanji.
Thank you,
Good
Praveen.
morning and good evening.
Good evening, good morning. Terrific to be on this chat.
Thank you so much. I know that it is like 3 or 4 days away from your big event. Right. And thanks for giving some time. I'll just go ahead and introduce first about you, and then we will get into the chat to know more about what is this global summit. What are the significant special events you are going to do and how it is going to inspire the Indo-Americans. First of all, again, thank you so much, Madanji. Let's introduce to Madanji. Madan Padaki is a visionary leader, and he is an entrepreneur and a passionate advocate for innovation and empowerment in the startup ecosystem. As a key figure in Thai and the driving force behind numerous impactful initiatives, Mr. Padaki has been instrumental in fostering entrepreneurship across borders. Beyond his leadership at Thai, he is a successful entrepreneur. He is also CEO and co-founder of OneBridge, and also the co-founder of Game. We will get to know more about what is Game and about his entrepreneurship in a minute. Beyond his leadership, Thai, he is a successful entrepreneur who co-founded several ventures that focus on youth employment, innovation, and social transformation. With the much anticipated Thai Global Summit 2024 just around the corner, we are excited to hear from him about his journey, the summit's vision, and the incredible opportunities it offers, particularly for the Indo-Americans and all the NRI community. Welcome, Mr. Madan, and thank you for joining us. So before we get into, I just wanted to ask you in a 1 minute if you can tell more about your journey, which I did cover.
Sure. Thank you, Praveenji, for that kind introduction. As you said, the last 25 years, I've been working on the issue of youth, employability, talent, and especially the last 10 years at the intersection of rural and technology. So I believe that we have a massive demographic dividend, not just in India, but everywhere else around the world. Youth are aspirational, have entrepreneurial spirit, but we need to create enough opportunities for them and set them up on a path where they won't fail, right? So that's the philosophy that I've been working on. The foundation sums it up all. We call it the Head Held High Foundation, very inspired by the Rabindranath Tagore's poem, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. I think that's the key to any successful journey of any person, and we're focusing with that on youth.
Excellent. Excellent, Mr. Madan. So before we get into more into Global Summit, I ask all my guests, what is your day look like? Right? You know, you have been accomplished 25 years, and I want all our Indo-Americans and NRIs who are aspiring for the entrepreneurship, I want you to tell how is your day look like?
So at a philosophical level, Praveenji, I believe in three things. One is that you take every day at a time. Who knows whether you're alive the next day or not?
Excellent.
Right. So therefore, can you spend that day with joy, with people around you who you love working with? And if you can move the needle even a bit on making a difference to the world around you, then I think it's a day well spent. So, and I'm grateful to the Lord that He has given me enough opportunities to do that, because, with the Head and Eye Foundation or with OneBridge or with the Global Alliance for Mass Entrepreneurship, and of course, TIE, the purpose is very clear. that we need to create more entrepreneurs. We need to create more youth who can go on to be job creators. The teams are fantastic because it's largely we work with a non-profit or a purpose-driven mindset. The joy is very much there because every time you meet any of our youth or any of our women entrepreneurs who are making a difference, you feel the joy. And third, I think you end up sleeping with a clean conscience as a pillow, saying that, listen, I've given my best today, and whatever emerges is up to the Lord. So I think that's the beauty of the journey that I wish for everyone.
Very, very well said. I think these are the kind of words everyone wants to listen. How you become an entrepreneur, what makes you drive, right? You need to have a lot of passion and energy to drive this. So, Mr. Madan, before you got into entrepreneurship, did you work in the corporate life?
Very briefly, maybe for all of 2.5 years. I did my engineering, then worked with Wipro, got inspired by working in Infosys for a very short while. Did my MBA, did a year stint in Japan, and then realized that in 2000, everybody I knew was starting a startup and said, hey, if I don't do something now, probably I'll never do anything again. And just that's how Merit Track happened.
So, what was the sparking moment? How did you get into an entrepreneurship?
So way back in 2000, being an entrepreneur was not glamorous or the thing, right? I mean, um, I think you just looked around, and that's why I believe in ecosystems like Bangalore or Atlanta or Thai. You get inspired by certain people. So you look around and I'm not talking of iconic figures. You look around and see normal people doing extraordinary things. And you say, hey, if this guy can do it, why can't I do it? Right? I remember the moment when I found out that one of my neighbors, who used to hang around for a chai now and then, had gone and raised money from a VC, and he had started a venture. That's when I started thinking, hey, if this guy can do it, why can't I do it? Right?
Very
And
well.
so I think therefore shows like this, what you do, Praveen, are important because we need to communicate a lot more about entrepreneurship and about how ordinary people are doing extraordinary journeys, and that will inspire a lot more to follow suit.
Absolutely. Basically, the reason I ask all this to my guest, because when I choose my guest, definitely is an achieved person. Like, how can you inspire, motivate? That's the main agenda for me. So, how did you get involved with Thai?
So Thai started in Bangalore in '99, and we were fortunate to have. So we completed 25 years of Thai this year. And we were fortunate to have Nandan Nilekani as our founding president. And of course, we had Kiran Mazumdar Shaw as one of the trustees. I had heard of Thai because I used to work in Infi in the larger team of Nandan. And 2000, when I started off Merit Track, somebody said, hey, there is something called a Thai. Why don't you go check it out? And we were barely some 20, 30 of us there. And I remember attending a talk by Nandan on what it takes to build an enterprise, so on and so forth. So I've stayed in touch with Thai since then. But I must share this defining moment where that spark has lived for a lot of years. 2002, we, after post 9/11, our business, the venture that I started was in shambles. We had no customers. Everybody had stopped giving work to India. We had an angel investor. We didn't even call him angel investor. He was a farmer from a North Karnataka town. He had gone bust, and we were like days away from a shutdown. I remember one evening saying that, hey, tomorrow we need to take the call. We'll shut down the venture. There's nothing more that can be done. So that evening, I remember attending a Thai talk because I had nothing else to do. I saw an email saying there's a Thai event. I said, let me go. And I was sitting next to someone who seemed to observe why my face was so small. And somewhere during tea break, he asked, hey, what's up? You seem to be disturbed, or, you don't seem all right. And I just blurted out saying that, I burst out saying that, yeah, everything that we built over the last 1 year, I think we have to shut it down. Tomorrow is the last day. So he put his hand on my shoulder, took me aside and said, tell me about your business. And I told him about Merit Track. He said, hey, it looks like a good idea. Why are you giving it up so early? We are all here to help. You come and meet me next week, I'll figure out what I can do.
Wow.
That 5 minutes changed my life because I said, hey, this guy is saying that we're all here and this is normal. Then why are we giving up so early? And went back, decided not to shut down. We struggled for 6 months, and then the rest is very different journey altogether. So I wouldn't have been here if I had decided to shut down Meritrack that day. So I think we need networks like TIE, not because of funding, not because of mentoring, networking, all that stuff, but it is an unconditional network that spreads love. And I think
Absolutely.
entrepreneurs need a lot of love and care
Absolutely.
from everybody around in the system.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And TIE is a very good network. Personally, I'm also into Atlanta, and I do
Yeah,
some of
yeah,
the
and we have a
volunteering as well
fantastic
with
chapter in
TIE.
Atlanta. Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Madanji, being an entrepreneur is one aspect, and getting motivated every day, right? If you are an entrepreneur, every day you have to motivate yourself until, you have stable life. So, what drives your passion for empowering entrepreneurs, and how has it influenced your work with Try?
sure. No, that's a very very pertinent question, Praveenji, because I believe that the root word for entrepreneur is or must be antarprerna.
Okay,
Okay, and so if you don't have antarprerna or inner motivation, it is very hard to be an entrepreneur.
absolutely,
And therefore, I think that the purpose that every entrepreneur owns and has is very important as a self motivation, right? Because we all know it, right? It's not an easy journey. Even now, in my social enterprise that I run, I wake up and sweat every first week of every month, saying, "How the hell will I pay salaries? How will we meet payroll? Why aren't customers paying, etc., etc." So it's not an easy journey, and it's very uncertain. The only thing that will keep you going is how motivated are you from within to pursue that journey. And that intrinsic motivation is a higher purpose, not money, not anything else.
absolutely.
So I think that's what keeps me going to say that, listen, if through the ventures, if you can make a difference to somebody's lives,
Very well said.
uh, then
Very
that's
well.
worth it.
So definitely, as you said, it's not only you touch life, right? You also give life to people of all your employees, right? It's a great entrepreneurship is great. There is no doubt about it. So, are there any personal milestones or lessons you have learned from your entrepreneurship where our young entrepreneurs or the Indo Americans can inspire from that?
Oh, lots of it. Lots of lessons, still learning. I would say just a few things. One is, coming back, I think find your purpose very clearly. Otherwise, we tend to meander. And the swadharma that we call the purpose is very important as a lodestar, right? Why are we doing what we do? Two, it is never easy. It will take 2x, 3x more time, effort, money, everything requires more effort and it requires a lot of patience. So as the movie goes, "Lage Raho Munna Bhai" is the only mantra. You just need to be at it, right?
Absolutely,
And third, I think again, enjoy the journey. I think there's nothing called as a destination. It
absolutely.
is the journey that is important, and do your best and leave the rest to the Lord. He will take care of it.
Very well
Uh,
said.
the journey needs to be enjoyed.
Absolutely, Madanji. So tell us more about your global summit. Let's talk about this Thai Global Summit. There are so many summits these days. If you see since 3, 4 years, you see a lot of summits. So tell us more. What is the significance of this Thai Global Summit? Is it yearly event, or how often you do? And what are the special events? I know that one of them you told Antar Prerna is already a special initiative of your uh,
Yes.
global summit. So Madanji, tell us what is this summit? What can anyone coming to that can expect? And what is your motive behind this global summit? And
No.
so many questions I'm asking. Lastly, why did you bring this to Bangalore?
Yeah, yeah,
Made you?
absolutely. So let me address, maybe I'll zoom out a bit. TIE the last 9 years, and this is the ninth edition,
Mm-hmm.
decided that, listen, the global network is happening, the network is growing. It is time to bring all the chapters together in one place and celebrate entrepreneurship. That's how the Thai Global Summit started out in 2016. And it's been happening in a very interesting way the last few years. We had Singapore, Hyderabad, Dubai hosting Thai Global Summits. Bangalore had never hosted.
Okay.
And when I took over as the president 3 years ago, I said, listen, at some point of time, we should plan to host the Thai Global Summit in Bangalore because this is the mecca of entrepreneurship for this part of the world, right? And the ecosystem is very supportive. And we said it only behooves that we host it. And that's how we supported by the government of Karnataka, the Karnataka Digital Economy Mission. We said we will do this together. And that's how last year we won the bid to host the summit at Bangalore. Now, for me, this is more than an event. Just doing an event, as you rightly said, there's an event dime a dozen, 365 days of the year, maybe 2 events a day, right? So the whole idea was, for us, we said this event has to serve three purposes. One, we chose the theme as putting entrepreneurship first.
Okay.
We said it's time to shine the spotlight to policymakers, to ecosystem actors, and especially to youth to say it is important to put entrepreneurship as the first choice of career, as the first lever of economic growth, and as the first option to really help entrepreneurs around you, right? And many times we forget about entrepreneurship and just focus on large corporations or, and clearly, again, to distinguish, startups is only one manifestation of the entrepreneurship pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the top layer, right? But you have a huge layer of entrepreneurs, small businesses, kirana store owners, small mobile shop repair guys, so on and so forth, who are employing 5, 6 people. They're all entrepreneurs as well. So the second thing that we said is it is more about entrepreneurship and inclusive entrepreneurship rather than only startups, right? When we all pat ourselves on the back, rightfully so, that we have 100 plus unicorns, I'm more worried about nanocons. That how can you create more small businesses that can generate 5 to 20 jobs each, that can serve local needs and local markets, and can use probably nano capital, loans from local banks, and use technology like open networks to make life easier. I think what India and emerging economies need is more nanocons than unicorns. So that was the one thought. The second thought, which is aligned to this, is that I think entrepreneurship models in India is changing rapidly from the usual models of the West, right? We are finding more youngsters who are coming with more purpose-driven mindsets to say, I want to make a difference. Two, we're finding a lot of domestic capital that's available. And entities like National Stock Exchange, in fact, Ashish Kumar Chauhanji, the CEO of NSE, will be with us, are now creating social stock exchanges where you can raise money from a social stock exchange without having to necessarily go through the VC route, right? And thirdly, with democratization of tech, with of course UPI started it all, but you take ONDC, account aggregator frameworks, OCAN, etc., etc. Technology is no longer an IP that is being held closely, but an open network where you can build and reimagine business models. So we said it's time to shine the spotlight on the Indian model of entrepreneurship, which is all about democratization of entrepreneurship,
Mm-hmm.
right? And lastly, we said 4 themes which will cut across any entrepreneurs: AI, climate, talent, and finance, money.
Mm-hmm.
Is going to change rapidly. How do entrepreneurs make sense of the changing trends? Right. So, can we really help entrepreneurs understand this and code it? So, we put all of this in a mix and said, if we bring all of this to happen at the Thai Global Summit, then doing a summit is worth it. So, if you look at the whole 4 days that we packed, it is the longest TGS ever. We're doing this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday and 9th, 10th, 11th of December is in Bangalore. 12th, we're taking it to Mysore, where we are celebrating cultural entrepreneurship in Mysore. In fact, I heard an interesting statistic when I was in the US a couple of months ago saying there are more yoga centers in the US than McDonald's.
That's true.
Right? True. Which becomes such a soft power that we've packaged and taken it to all over the world. So we are discussing how do you take elements like that, package it, and take it to global audiences. and what can you do there?
Absolutely. So
So
you
that's
talked about,
the larger theme that we are talking, Praveen.
okay. So you talked about four things, right? AI, finance,
Climate, yeah,
talent, climate. So
yes.
everywhere you talk about AI. So what's your perspective from the AI from this global summit? So what's your key takeaway? How you are going to formalize this AI? So are you from the government perspective, from the Indian talent perspective? How do you see by right now? You should have an idea of what kind of entrepreneurs are there in AI.
And exactly. So if I go back 200, 300 years ago, Praveen, mathematics was considered as an esoteric art.
Hmm.
There were people apparently in Europe called abacusists whom you used to go to do calculations,
Yes.
right? So mathematics was seen more as a vertical, but today it's a horizontal. I don't think anybody can say I don't know math or I will live without math. Same analogy, I think AI is like that, right? Everybody today we're seeing AI as a vertical, or it started out by seeing seen as a vertical. It's truly a horizontal. It's going to impact everybody.
Hmm.
Now, it's up to us whether we want to embrace AI and use it to improve our daily lives and businesses, or we shy away from it and say it's not for me and then let the world pass by. So, what we're trying to do at the Global Summit is embed AI as a conversation in every track that we're doing.
That's a good
Right
idea.
from young people to school, we are actually bringing in 700 rural school innovators.
Wow.
And we are talking about the future of technology. In fact, they're getting to interact with a first humanoid robo,
Hmm.
which uses AI to have a conversation.
Excellent. Is that
Right?
developed in India?
Sorry?
Is it a brand of India?
Yeah, yeah. So this is made by a local Bangalore company,
Hmm.
and it's called RIA. And we're bringing RIA to engage with audiences and every audience over 3, 4 days. So what we want to say is, listen, the world is changing, and these trends, AI, climate change, talent. How will you learn? How will you grow your own leadership skills and money? How do you access money? In 10 years, will it all be cryptocurrencies? Will it be bitcoins? Will currencies even make sense?
Absolutely.
So we want to kind of shine the spotlight on this and take these as annual conversations as well.
Excellent. So, second thing I wanted to touch upon is talent, right? There is a lot of transformation in talent, right? After pandemic, the complete talent, the structuring, the way like hybrid, on-site, remote. So there are a lot of challenges as well. It has given a good life for everyone to work remotely. At the same time, it has created problems as well. So how do you see from India, from the talent perspective, what's your thought process? It's going to be in future.
Yeah. So if you look at Indian talent itself, Pravinji, the last 20 years or so, we evolved through three cycles, right? When we all started out, outsourcing was just taking off, and that's where Meritrack grew. Indian talent was seen more as hands, to say we have a chief pair of hands who can do work outsourced, but we will tell them what to do, right? That is phase one. I would say from 95, early 90s to late 2007, 10. That phase happened, which is great because we got exposed to the world.
Absolutely.
The second phase began, I think, in, I would say it's 2008, 9 to about the last 10 years.
Mhm.
Where Indians were looked at more from a head angle to say, hey, not only can we get hands done, but we can also do research, we can also do innovation, we can do R&D centers, and the products can be developed in India for the world, right? Which elevated the conversation to the next level. I think the most important talent I see the last 6, 7 years coming up is where Indian talent is operating from the heart, where we're saying, how can we solve local problems? And how can we take it global? Right? So not just innovation execution, but innovation is happening here. So going forward, you take all the areas, you take agriculture, financial services, healthcare, thousands of problems to be solved, which makes India a fantastic test bed to try out a variety of innovation that will solve local problems and take it globally. I mean, UPI is now being adopted in 30 plus more countries now,
Absolutely.
right?
That's
And
amazing.
so I think that is the power that of Indian talent to say, how can we operate from the heart? Of course, use head and hands to solve for local challenges and take it global. And I think that is I think that's where we need to prepare our young people. So if you look at Thai, I'm super thrilled that you have Thai young entrepreneurs where we're going to college school kids and teaching them about entrepreneurship. We run Thai U, where we are talking about taking challenges to colleges, asking them to solve local problems. And then, of course, you have the whole Thai network. So I think that is the journey if we take, we can truly become the innovation capital for the world.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So, especially on the young entrepreneurship, so do you see the current academics supports the entrepreneurship? And you might have interacted with a lot of
Yeah.
entrepreneurship that might be more from the private school, right? Do you see any way that can be connected to the government schools? Did you see any progress there?
Lots of it. In fact, two things are happening. One is, of course, we have the new education policy at
Mhm.
the central and several states are adopting it. As a policy framework, it gives a lot of flexibility for the education system to take these new skills and embed them. Right at Game, and one of my partners, Mekin Maheshwari, runs Udhyam.
Mhm.
He started about 8 years ago teaching entrepreneurial mindsets to Delhi government schools.
Okay.
And the Delhi government mandated that all the 1,000 plus schools, 1 million students will undergo an entrepreneurial mindsets curriculum first hour of every day, where there's no textbook, it's all by doing stuff outside. And many states are now emulating it,
Very nice.
right? So I think entrepreneurial mindsets and creativity and things like that are no longer nice to have things. The
Must have.
governments are realizing that it is a need to have, and if you don't equip them with these skills, they'll be lost. I think that's a welcome change that we're seeing, and a lot more entrepreneurs and startups are in that field. In fact, we're doing a very interesting session at the Thai Global Summit called the AI Conclave, not AI as we know, but we're calling the Academia Industry Innovation Conclave.
Mhm.
Saying how do academic institutions start building a more entrepreneurial culture within their campuses? And what can industry and startups do to help?
Very nice. So, do you have any special tracks or sessions which can excite the NRI folks or the global audience? What do you have special
Oh,
for them?
lots of it right through. In fact, glad to share that we have over 1,000 charter members who are coming from all across the world, including Karnataka. We'll reach almost about 1,500 people.
Mhm.
And by the way, this is going to be one of the largest conferences that Thai has ever hosted here. We are we have now exceeded over about 8,000 registered delegates.
Oh my God!
And we're expecting a footfall of another 10, 12,000 people over the 3 days. So this is going to be a massive summit showcasing the power of the entrepreneurial ecosystem.
Amazing.
Secondly, we are also from a US angle, as I said, we are focusing more on the global trends and how India-US corridors can work together. For example, Thai Boston is collaborating in a big way with CCAN
Mhm.
along with UMass. We've got the Secretary of State for New Jersey,
Okay.
Lieutenant Governor Tahesh Away, who's visiting us, and there's an MOU being signed between the government and New Jersey, supported by again the Thai New Jersey and Thai Bangalore chapters, perhaps as executing. So I think the whole idea is that we got a global network, and the call to action for all chapters and all entrepreneurs is how do you plug into this global network? And at the Global Summit, we're creating enough and more opportunities across sessions. We are doing a global ecosystems conclave where we're having delegations from countries like Israel, Japan, Denmark, UAE, Sri Lanka, and of course US, all talking about how do we really create corridors that are not dependent on government to government connects, but more entrepreneur to entrepreneur connects.
Very nice. Very, very inspirational, Madanji. It's not easy to collaborate and coordinate this many people. You said 1,000 delegates are coming, right? 1,000 Thai members. So how many
From across
chapters
the
we
world, we
have,
are just charter members. Yeah.
Madanji? How many chapters, Thai chapters are there today?
Oh, today we have 67 chapters in 16 countries,
Wow,
right? And we have a representative from all of the chapters coming in.
excellent. Very nice. I also saw that you had a very great opportunity and you are blessed to meet the Prime Minister, right? So, how did you feel and what were the, uh, did you invite him for this global summit as well, or what was your discussion? I'm really excited to hear from you.
Yeah, no, it's been heartening to see his support and the entrepreneurial support for entrepreneurs across the ministries. I mean, in the Ministry of Commerce, DPIT, of course, MIT. In fact, we are very privileged to have both the state government of Karnataka as a state court, and we have Ministry of IT and Technology, Electronics and IT, Government of India as supporting co-hosts. In fact, India AI Mission is one of the co-hosts for the event, along with STPI and Mighty Startup Hub. So there is, I think the Prime Minister's vision for a Viksit Bharat clearly includes entrepreneurs really at the heart of it. So we've extended an invite to the Honorable Prime Minister to grace the occasion at the Mysore Palace where we're doing the global awards.
Mhm.
Fingers crossed. We're hoping that we will have at least his presence, if not in person, virtually at least, or through a video that we can engage. We are also having a lot of our central and state governments participating along with global delegations. I think at the strides that we've made the last 8, 10 years, not just at the central level, I think every state recognizing the potential of entrepreneurs to make a difference is heartening to note. And I think the Thai Global Summit should only act as an accelerator from here on.
Absolutely. I wish that he should come and bless the event. And
Yeah,
it not only motivates and boosts everyone, but also this kind of events will happen more frequently. And definitely there will be a scope for all the entrepreneurs, Madanji.
exactly.
And are there any success stories from the NRIs, from the investment perspective, or the mentoring perspective, or the strategic partnership from this global summit? Do you want to share?
Yeah. In fact, for the first time, we're hosting a family officers conclave supported by Chirate Ventures and many others.
Hmm.
We have got over about 500 people registering for the Family Officers Conclave because we want to talk about how domestic capital can leverage talent and how entities like we have the Gift City. In fact, Gift is also a partner.
Hmm.
How NRIs and investors from the US can leverage entities like Gift
Hmm.
to come into India. That's a big focus we have. Of course, SBI as a partner, and SBI also will be talking about future of finance. So I think there are, with entities like this, there are beautiful bridges being built where flow of capital between these two countries could be made much more easier. And that's going to be one of the focused conversations at the summit as well. In fact, we're having, as you said, we're having continuous pitching stalls, we're having mentoring stalls, mentoring clinics. We'll have more than about 1,000 odd mentoring sessions done over 3 days.
1,000, that's a big number. Even the biggest one, I hear like 600 stalls, 700 stalls.
Yeah,
It's amazing. I think I can sense that this will be a biggest event for sure. 1,000 stalls itself, it's not easy. 1,000
yeah,
stalls.
yeah. We've got two huge halls filled with pavilions and startups.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think it's all the energies of the people around, and we're going to have the world's largest, if not the largest, the most energetic celebration of entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. I can see that from your smile itself, Mr. Madan, because I know that you're working late and again you woke up so early. That itself says what kind of energy you bring onto the table. So, what is your long term vision? What do you for Thai and its impacts on the global entrepreneurship?
So yeah, it's been over 30 years of Thai globally, 32. And in fact, a few years ago, KPMG did a massive impact report,
Hmm.
which said that Thai has generated over $1 trillion in economic value through supporting various entrepreneurs and across the world. I think we have an opportunity now from a Thai angle to accelerate that journey that we've had the last 30 years at a much faster pace. We are dreaming of a million entrepreneurs mission where all the Thai chapters come together, can say, how can we impact truly and create a million new entrepreneurs who can go on to create 10 jobs each? Can we really create 10 to 20 million, good quality jobs over the next 5, 10 years? I think, 25, 30 years is a long time, but again, it's a blip in history. But I think as Thai, we have a massive opportunity ahead of us to bring to bear the learnings that we've had over the last 25 years, package it all together, and start accelerating the pace of impact.
Excellent. So, Madanji, if anyone from whether it is NRIs or Indo-Americans or anyone who is first to Thai, what would you suggest for them to come into Thai?
It is just like, when you go to a beach, you tentatively tip your leg into the waves, you feel the waves. The best experience of a beach, of a sea, is just you would just go wade into it and jump into it. And then the energy hits you. So my sense is just jump in, engage, of course, but come in wholeheartedly, and you will enjoy that experience.
Excellent. So, what is that one message you wanted to tell to all the Indo-Americans and NRIs on this summit as a takeaway?
I think we truly have an opportunity. This time is right. The space is right. We truly have an opportunity to come together, to work together. And if we can really leverage this moment, we can change the course of history.
Very well said. Excellent, Madanji. So, how many volunteers it's doing this kind of a massive event? That too, your locations are three, not even.
Yeah.
So, how do you manage to mobilize this crowd? What kind of volunteer energy you have, Madanji?
So, Praveen, TAI is a voluntary organization. All of us are spending time on our own volition and contributing towards the cause. I would say, we are fortunate to have an army of charter members and members. We would have over about 100, 125 people involved in the whole programming as volunteers. We have various partners. Inc. is a partner. Inc. Talks, which is run by Lakshmi Praturi. Inc. The entire Inc. team is working on curation. We have our event partners called Active, which has pulled off the Bangalore Tech Summit the last several years. They are doing the whole event. So there's an army of people there. And of course, we have over 500 college students who are all involved in the event in some form or the other. So it's a massive army working here. And again, as I said, the event is only an excuse. It's bringing a lot of people together and forging new connections.
Excellent. Hats off to you for coordinating this, Madanji. The next 2-3 minutes, I want you to talk about this event. Who are the speakers? What kind of special initiatives are there in this? And especially on the TGS 100, I believe I could see that 100 crores is involved in this. Yeah. So if you can summarize about the global summit, that would be good for all the Indo-Americans, NRIs, or whoever is watching this.
Yeah. So let me just walk you through the days. In fact, on the 9th of December, which is coming Monday, we are hosting the whole show at the Indian Institute of Science. What better place and history to celebrate entrepreneurship? So we're doing master classes. We have a whole lot of friends from the US. We have folks like B.V. Jagdish, who's the Valley-based entrepreneur who's coming and talking about his own journey and what people can learn. We have folks like Anand Deshpande, the chairman of Persistent Systems, coming down to talk about how do you scale growth. Kiran Deshpande, who's our board member and a very, very renowned tech entrepreneur. So we have a bunch of master classes on the 9th. We are hosting the Entrepreneur Leadership Summit, where we're talking about the inner journey. We are very, very fortunate to have Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai with us to kickstart the whole conversations. And we have a whole range of leaders from across the world talking about mind, body, and soul. How do you keep yourself fit? How do you keep your mind in the mindfulness mode? And how do you really have a fantastic soup for the soul? in the work that you do is a day-long summit that we're hosting with over about 30 speakers coming in from across the world, and at the Jane Tata Auditorium in Institute of Science.
Mhm.
10th and 11th are the 10th, 9th evening, we're having a gala reception that we're hosting, which is hosted by the state at the palace grounds. We're expecting more than about 3,000 people to turn up for that evening dinner. And the 10th, we are starting off with in the Bangalore International Exhibition Center in Bangalore at the 10th and 11th. We wanted to start out with a huge dose of inspiration, and we couldn't have found anybody better than Andre Agassi to come in. And he's flying in from the US to be with us for 2 days. And he's going to talk about his journey. We were also looking to draw inspiration from the world of the media and entertainment. To say it's not easy to make it to the top, how do you do that? And again, who better than an icon like Vidya Balan to inspire us, having been a ranked outsider to come into the industry and rise to the top. So we've got both Vidya and Siddharth Roy Kapoor talking about their learnings on resilience and how do you face failures. In the afternoon, we're doing detailed, in-depth sessions on future of climate, future of finance, future of intelligence, and future of talent. Phenomenal again speakers coming in from across the world. We got folks like Ravi Venkatesan, the chairman of GAP, Mr. Ashwini Kumar Tiwari, the managing director of State Bank of India, Mr. R. Balasubramaniam, Dr. R. Balasubramaniam, who's the member of the Capacity Building Commission of India, who's just written a fantastic book on PM Modi's leadership skills and what one can learn from that, so on and so forth. And we are ending the day with a very insightful address on the reforms and how do you reform institutions by Mr. Sanjeev Sanyal, who's the chief, who's in the Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council. So we have a power-packed day, and of course we have the Thai women's pitch finals happening that afternoon as well the Rural Youth Innovators Conclave happening in parallel. 11th is a bunch of parallel tracks. We have about 18 different tracks running on the 11th with about 200 speakers, including a massive Futurepreneurs Conclave where we have folks like Sabir Bhatia of Hotmail, Shantanu Deshpande of Bombay Shaving Company, Ankur Wariku, all inspiring our youth entrepreneurs. And we have a unicorn stage. So there's a lot of madness happening on that day. Yeah, and 12th we are in Mysore. In fact, we are very fortunate to end day 2 with Dr. Deepak Chopra to talk about AI and well-being. And 12th, of course, we're in Mysore for cultural entrepreneurship session at the Infosys Mysuru campus and the closing award ceremony at the Mysore Palace. So we've kind of got a range covered here.
Very, very, very nice, Madanji. I think the way you talked about the icons, the entrepreneurs from the different parts of the globe, I'm sure that you might have been working since a year for this.
Oh yeah, we've been almost at it from a year in trying to conceptualize and pull this off.
I'm sure that this will be a successful event, and I urge everyone who are in India, the Indo-Americans or NRIs, please do participate in this global summit. And thank you, Madanji, for your time, especially during these tight timelines. And I appreciate how much work you are doing for the community. And nurturing the young entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs is very much needed. And we wish you good luck. And the final message, we will definitely close this show.
Thank you so much, Praveen, for having me here. And I think the last 45 minutes, you helped me visualize TGS itself again in my mind. So it helps me to focus on what we need to do. So thank you very much for a very masterfully crafted conversation. Appreciate it. And look forward to welcoming all of you from the US and all other parts of the world to be with us in Bangalore next week.
Thank you, Madanji. After talking to you, I felt that I should have also come.
Yeah, you should. There's still time. You can get onto a flight right now and come over. You should.
Definitely, I'll come and meet you because of the work what you have done, and definitely I will make my time to visit you in Bangalore. Maybe probably in early Jan.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you, Madan ji. Congratulations again, and we wish you good luck. It will be a huge success.
Thank you. I love that positive affirmation. That's what we need. Thank you. Take care.